Hey, what's up? What's up? This is your boy Carl Brister, and welcome to The Groove. Hope your week is going well. Hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day. I know I did. Again, shout out to my boo. You know who you are. No, I'm not going to be shady. Shout out to my wife, Beverly Brister, who holds me down. She's my forever Valentine. And I hope that you guys had an exciting Valentine's Day. And we are on Thursday. Y'all know what this is. This is The Groove with Carl Brister. And if you are tuning in on YouTube, I'm going to need you to click that subscribe button right quick. And if you're following me on Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook, I need you guys to click that friend button. And also share it. Today, we're going to share. Sharing is caring, right? We got a great show today. You're going to want to share this with all your friends, all your networks. If you're on Twitter, what's up? I need you guys to share it, tweet out that we're about to get started on one of the, I would say, a great experience and journeys of the groove so far. Yes, I would say this is going to be an epic time for all you groovy people who are going after your groove in life and following your dreams. We have a special guest that's going to share some great things for you. So you guys know what this is. This is The Groove. I'm your host, Carl Brister. This is where music meets passion and we find our groove in life together. Let's get ready for The Groove.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carl Brister. The Groove. Let's go. The Groove.
Hey, what's up? Again, this is Carl Brister, and this is The Groove. Shout out to Steve Walker, producer for that track. That track, I get a lot of requests or inquiries about that track. So that track is called This Right Here. It's from my fourth album, Love Plus Life Equals. And it was produced by Steve Chef Walker, formerly or originally from the Garden State, but he's down in ATL. Shout out ATL. And yeah, that's one of my favorite sort of underground tracks that I think we might have to revisit that, Chef. What you say? All right, so y'all know what we do. I need you to chat me what you're thinking. We got a very special guest, Mr. Freddie Moore. He is in the virtual building. I cannot wait to bring him on. You guys get your questions ready. We're definitely gonna let Freddie talk directly with you guys today. This is called A Time to Dance. And yeah. You know, I like to move a little bit too. I like to get my two-step on, Anyway, like I said, Freddie don't dance like that. But, singing and dancing is, something that really has always been a part of every movement, and it can lead us into and out of victory. And I want to share that and love can definitely be revolutionary. And I want you guys to sort of see a little bit what I'm talking about with this great performance. Check it out, Revolution.
monsters in my head are scared of love. Fallen people, listen up. It's never too late to change your love. So don't let them steal your life. Don't let them break your stride. There's light on the other side. You'll see all the raindrops falling behind. It's a revolution breaking out tonight. It's a revolution. It's a revolution. Can you see it? The worst is over. The monsters in my head are scared of love. Fallen people, hey, listen up. It's never too late to change your love. So don't let them steal your life. Don't let them break your stride. There's light on the other side. You'll see all the raindrops falling behind. It's the revolution breaking out tonight. It's a revolution. It's a revolution.
Hey, this is The Groove. Shout out to the West Orange male steppers and female steppers, West Orange High. Shout out to them, man. I loved that. Yo, shout out to you, John Anthony. Thank you very much, brother. I loved that performance. We had a great time. Man, I was performing. I was rehearsing those steps for hours. But look, I love dancing. I really do. I love it, man. And they pushed me and they taught me so much, and really enjoyed that performance. How y'all doing out there, man? How y'all doing? I know it's been a week. It's been a week, but let me tell you, it is 60 degrees in Jersey right now. It is 60 degrees in February. So if y'all can't groove to this, I don't know what you can groove to. Shout out, I see you, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube. Shout out to everybody watching on Facebook. We're going to have a great time today, guys. A great time. But listen, this is February 17th, and talk about a great time. Man, did you see the Super Bowl halftime show? Now, did you see it? Y'all got to comment. You got to chat, because we got to talk about that. It's this is about, this is Black History Month. I'd like to say African American Heritage Month. And that was history in the making. I was like all in. Were you all in? Who was your favorite performer? I want to know. Y'all got to chat me. We got to talk about that right now. The Super Bowl halftime show was everything it was promised to be. So, in case you were on a trip to Mars, you have a ticket with Jeff Bezos, and you got one of those space rides that day. This was history. Hip hop was finally put at the forefront, center stage of the Super Bowl, the largest viewed program and broadcast. This was a major thing. So it was led by Dr. Dre. It was he was joined by Snoop Dogg, Eminem, 50 Cent, Kendrick Lamar. How could I forget Kendrick Lamar? And the queen of hip hop soul herself, Miss Mary J. Blige. Y'all got to put some claps in the chat for that. So I was really proud. I think they all killed it. I think they all commanded that stage. They seized the moment, and I was just elated. But in the words of Dr. Dre, this should have happened a long time ago, to paraphrase his quote. And his hope was that this show would make it forever known that future hip hop artists should be given that opportunity. So what did you guys think of the Super Bowl halftime show? I know you had to see it. Shout out to John Anthony. I see you out there. Shout out to you guys on Facebook. But this was a moment, talk about history. This was a moment in time that I think is going to definitely open doors for many artists. So shout out to those 5 artists who killed it. In fact, I think 6, right? 6 artists who killed it on that stage, 5, 6. 50, Eminem, Snoop, Kendrick Lamar, Dre, and Mary. 6, the 6 Avengers of hip hop who killed it on stage. Shout out to them. And shout out to you guys. Welcome to the groove. Welcome to the groove. Welcome to the groove. I see you guys on Twitter. I see you guys on Facebook. This is where passion and music meets. This is where we together journey to find our groove in life, and we encourage one another to follow the path that God leads for us. And listen, my name is Carl Brister, and I am really honored to be your host. Check it out. We have a very special guest, Mr. Freddie Moore, with us today. And before we bring Freddie, I want you guys to definitely take a moment to subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe, you get all of the videos and all of the notices about what's coming up, what new music I'll be releasing, and that'll be happening soon, and more, and all of the lives. Friend me, follow me. If you're watching the rebroadcast on IG, definitely follow me. And let's just take this groove of life together. All right, how y'all doing? Listen, I don't need a script to introduce this brother. This Freddie Moore is my brother from another. He is just one of those dudes that we just have that bond. He has a gift that when you watch him dance, it's like watching a gift in motion. He is a world-renowned dancer and choreographer, respected leader at the Ailey School, founder of Footprints Dance Company in Jersey City and more. But all beyond or above all of that, he's one of the guys that I've met on my journey who has the biggest heart. He's one of the biggest hearts that I've ever met. Just tried and true, and what we say, anointed. He has an awesome ministry. I cannot say enough. You know what? I can show you better than I can tell you. So I'm going to show you. And after this, you guys are going to be enjoying a conversation with Mr. Freddie Moore.
May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children. Your family, your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his praise, yes, Lord. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. Go before you, and behind you, and beside you. With you, he is with. Yes, he is. In the morning, in the evening, in your coming, and your going, and your leaving. Yeah. He's for you. He's good. He's for you. He's more than the world against you. Yeah. He's for you. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face, and be ever gracious to you. May his favor be upon you and your children and their children. In the morning, in the evening, you're coming and you're going. Have your peace.
I love that. Everyone, without further ado, I bring to you my brother, Mr. Freddie Moore.
Evening.
Freddie.
How we doing?
Oh my gosh. I love that, man. I love how you walk off. Wow. How are you?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Blessed and highly favored. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, sir. Yeah, well, look at that beard, man. It's been so long.
It's called COVID. It's just what happens when COVID comes along.
Oh my gosh. Your ministry is a blessing, as you know. I mean, the comments alone, I see the Ayedes agency are just showing you so much love.
Hmm.
Beverly is saying how powerful, the ministry is. I see you guys out there on Facebook. Keep those comments coming. Brother, so much love. Shout out to Rudy Davis. So much love, man. And as you guys are commenting, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, to friend, to do all of that stuff. But most importantly, tonight, share this link. Let your friends know, because this is such a wonderful, blessed brother that we have tonight. And I want the world to know, my good friend Freddie Moore. How are you, man?
We're doing good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for having me as a part of tonight's conversation and time to get together to speak about grooving. I love it. I love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So look, we met in Jersey City many years ago.
We're only 18. We're still 18 though. But yes, we met many years ago.
We met, yes. And, I'm originally from Plainfield, Queen City, Plainfield, New Jersey. Shout out to you guys. Cardinals, y'all know what it is. But listen, but we met in Jersey City. Can you just tell us a little bit about, what it was like, as a kid growing up in Jersey City?
For me, we growing up in Jersey City, we grew up when we say in the inner city, I grew up in Marion Gardens. For those who may be on the line, know that's from Marion Gardens. When we grew up in the place where we grew up, to me, I think life was a little different. Everyone took care of one another. Everyone, looked out for one another. So to me, the neighborhood that we grew up in, it was a great neighborhood. We had, many different family and friends that looked after one another. So I think to me, it was a little different than things are nowadays. And I found, I still live here in Jersey City. There've been a few times I thought I was going to move away from Jersey City, and the Lord just still had my foot planted here. So there was something great about growing up in Jersey City. So again, I'm grateful and thankful to still be here, to still be able to plant seeds and share the love that God has given me here in Jersey City.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. Shout out to Jersey City. Shout out to the Heights. Shout out to Jackson Avenue. All of that stuff, man. And I know for one thing, Jersey City people love Jersey City. Y'all are tried and true Jersey City down.
Yes.
But so what kind of music did you listen to growing up,
I used to, back then when I was young, I used to just call it street music, but we listened to things like Kool and the Gang. James Brown. I grew up, my family grew up, they loved music. My mother and my father, we lived with music in the house. So we had many different types of artists growing up. But, I think that, we had, hip hop wasn't on the scene. I'm telling my age now, but we had, you have jazz music, but for the most part, I consider it to be street music, the fame, James Brown, Kool and the Gangs, and some of those artists such as that. Okay.
Shout out to, Kool and the Gang, Robert Kool Bell. He is our inaugural guest here at the Groove. He was one of the Robert Kool Bell is now, yes sir. He's first.
Yes.
He was the first Music Village honoree for the Love and Unity Fest.
This is wonderful. We grew up with literally Kool and the Gang. We knew the family. They would have every weekend. They would have what do you call it? The van with the music van. They would have concerts. They would put on concerts all the time back in the day. So we
Oh, okay. You mean those flatbed trucks where the bands were?
yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Always-
Wait, shout
always-
out to Robert Cool Bell and Cool in the Gang, legends in the gang, in the game, and real music,
Mhm.
real. And that's not to say that what we have now is not real. It's what we have now is today. But I would like to say instrumentation, authentic instruments that really improved your musicality, your theory, all of that stuff, and they really help define the groove.
Yes. Okay.
You know.
Nice.
So yeah, and shout out. I see we got more comments, man. They are rolling in. Royal KL. He says, "What you doing?"
What you doing? That's my favorite saying. What you doing?
Yeah, man. So listen, what I want to do is really, we see the dancing, but sometimes we never know the story behind the steps and get to know the person behind the moves. It brings a little bit more context, I feel, to what we're seeing, you know. And I was really curious as to when did you know that you had this passion for dance?
I knew, and this is part of the story I share with others. I knew ever since I was like 5, 6 years old, I would always walk around and tell people I was born to dance. And in my home and even in the neighborhood where I grew up, people didn't understand what that was. And I didn't even understand that. These words just came out of my lips. I was born to dance. And the way I defined that as a youngster, whenever I would hear music or if a commercial was on TV, my body, my limbs would just express some type of movement just from the sound that I'm hearing. So I knew ever since then I was born to dance. And it wasn't until I got older, a little older, when I didn't discover, okay, it's more than just that street dancing that I was called in terms of being able to be an instrument for God.
So whoa. You telling me you used to pop lock? What?
I can't pop or lock a hip or hop nowadays, but every other thing. But yes.
Let me find out, where is the video?
Don't go searching for that.
Wow, but I mean, that's really, inspiring. I mean, you knew from 5 or 6 you were born to dance. That's amazing. That is just amazing. Like, what did your family think, as you grew up and you finally decided, hey, I'm going to pursue this as a goal or career? Were they supportive?
Yeah,
What was that conversation like?
I think, again, in the neighborhood in which I grew up, in the town in which I grew up, boys and men didn't dance. There was no such thing as, in terms of what I was called to do. And I didn't know anything in terms of, it's going to be ballet, it's going to be modern. But boys and men didn't dance outside of street dancing. And so even though I would say those things, I just used a platform at that time of just using street dance to sort of kind of express myself. But I kept, I knew that there was something deeper in terms of why I love to move. And so I think when I remember sharing with my parents about me having an interest in wanting to dance, and I remember picking up the Yellow Pages. Yes, back then we had the thing called the Yellow Pages. I picked up the Yellow Pages and I began to share with them. They told me to find a dance school. And I found a dance school in Jersey City called the Kennedy Dancers. And I remember, pointing it out to my mother and father and, letting them know this is what I want to do. And then when I was leaving their bedroom, something just told me, I turned around and I looked. And the last thing I remember is I remember my dad closing the book, closing the Yellow Pages. And from that point, in my mind and my spirit, mommy and daddy's going to take me to dance school. But it was never, another word was never spoken about in terms of, pursuing it. But I never gave up the hope and dream that, someday I'm going to go to dance school because mommy and daddy told me I can take dance lessons. And it wasn't until a much later at a much later time when the doors began to open for me to venture out into that. But I found it interesting that even at that time, just, having the desire of wanting to do it, just by them giving me the okay, I knew that someday it would happen without too much other conversation after that.
Wow. That's powerful. That's powerful. So they literally closed the book.
And it wasn't that I don't believe they were saying no, but it was just like, okay, and to me, there was no other research after that for a long period of time. But when you look at the call of God and the appointment of God, I know God had a plan. And I only discovered that later on when I got toward high school, that I began to realize, the hand of God in this whole, I was born to dance, and he began to reveal it to me. So I praise God that, again, even though there was a desire in me as young as I was, he fulfilled it in due time, in the right time. He fulfilled it.
Wow. That's amazing. I am familiar with, our parents really operating from a place from which they knew,
Mm-hmm.
and when we pursue careers in the arts, whether it's singing or dancing, many times for whatever reasons, parents are, their first priority is to protect their children.
That's right.
Did anyone have a conversation with you about making sure you had a plan B, keeping a job, a real job?
Right.
Did you have any of those conversations?
I think for me, when I started dancing, because the way I got inspired to actually start moving in this place called dance, I saw the movie Fame came out. And when I saw Fame, I knew that's what I want to do. And so in high school, long story short, I was given the opportunity of starting my own dance troupe. Never had no training in my life, but they allowed me in high school to start my own dance troupe. And we, within a year and a half time, we begin to grow and become popular, not only in Jersey City, but in the state of New Jersey. And so that allowed me the room to be introduced to Alvin, Ailey. And so I always wondered at the time what my parents thought about me dancing, specifically my father. And so in my home, I wanted to please my parents by having a desire of going to college. And so I got accepted at Jersey City State University, which is now called New Jersey City University. And while going to New Jersey City University, I auditioned for Alvin Ailey. And when I got in, my biggest thought was, I wonder what my father's thinking. And it was one night while driving him to work, that's when the truth came out, when I began to explain to him, I'm in college because I was doing this to try to please them, and I want to go to college too. But at the same token, I knew I was called to dance. It was that night when I began to share with my dad, I got the audition, but I want to know, what do you think? If you think I should go to college, I'll do that. And my father, right in Journal Square, before letting him out of the car, he said, man, you got to follow your dreams. If it makes you happy, I'm happy for you. This is what you have to do. And that was enough for me to close every door, every plan B, plan C, and plan D, because I had my father's backing. And that was enough for me to say, it's time to pursue this thing, all or nothing.
Wow. You guys are watching The Groove. I am Carl Brister, your host, and we are hearing from our special guest for today, Minister Freddie Moore. And this is The Groove, where passion and music, tonight the arts meet, and we find our groove in life together. I want to shout out a few folks that are chiming in. We see Kyle. We know Kyle.
Oh.
Shout out to Texas.
My son.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another gifted dancer.
Yes.
Shout out to the little family out there. I see that the Ayetis agency is like, show 'em, Doc.
Yes.
Shout out to you guys. Shout out to John Anthony and everybody. Keep it locked. We got a lot more with our special guest, Freddie Moore, and this is The Groove.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carl Brister. The groove. Let's go. The groove.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is The Groove. I am your host, Carl Brister, and we are having a great time with our special guest, Mr. Freddie Moore. Yes. And listen, if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you click that subscribe button so that you can get all the next grooves. First, you can hear about who's coming up. We have a great lineup for this season. If you're watching on Facebook and Twitter, make sure you follow your boy. And listen, I have a quick update for you guys. Something special that's really coming up: the Love and Unity Fest. This is an event that I founded 7 years ago to. I'm sorry. This is an event that I founded 7 years ago that was designed to use music to bring people together. And I want you guys to see just a little bit about that. And the next voice afterwards will be Mr. Freddie Moore. We see a lot of divisiveness in our neighborhoods, in the news, and in our relationships. It separates us from coming together as human beings. But we can change the story by coming together and celebrating our diversity and bringing positivity to counter the negativity through the power of love. And music has always been a way to bring people together. Hi, I'm Carl Brister, singer, songwriter, recording artist, and dad to these guys, Justin and Jordan. And I want to personally invite you to the Love and Unity Fest, where we can spread love through great performances from different styles from across the globe. There'll be food trucks and fun activities for the kids, right guys?
Yeah.
So let's come together and we can send the greatest message of all out to the world.
Love.
Hey, this is The Groove, and we have our very special guest, Mr. Freddie Moore, in the building. Hey, Freddie, you good? You still good?
We're good. Thank you.
All right, now, you didn't just so happen to make my, special dish. See, what y'all don't know, I can't tell you all that we don't know, but if you don't know that in addition to dancing, this man can cook. So we're going to talk about that later.
Yes. Definitely, I got to become a part of the Unity Love Fest. I'll cook the meals. We'll flip to the other side.
Oh yes, y'all heard him first. May 21st, everyone. So the Love and Unity Fest will take place on May 21st in West Orange, New Jersey. For more information about the Love and Unity Fest, you can go to musicvillage.live. That's right, musicvillage.live. We just confirmed an artist today. I can't tell you guys. I wish I could. Y'all know that Soul House King Kenny Bobian is going to be performing. I'm going to definitely be performing, and it's going to be jazz, rock, pop. Those dancers that you saw with me on stage, the male and female step group, they'll be there. And it's going to rock. And it's all to just bring us all together in love. How do you think about that, Freddie?
I love it. I'm looking forward to being part of it as well.
All right. Now, don't gas me up, man, because
we're going to make it happen.
we're looking forward to Freddie Moore being in the house. That's right. And we're going to use all that God has given us to love thy neighbor and love one another. I was just reading that scripture today, man. Something that we take for granted sometimes,
Yes.
So Freddie, I got a question for you. I seen you out there doing your thing, teaching at Ailey and all around the world. But what can you do with somebody who say they got 2 left feet or 2 right feet, or maybe one or the other? What you got for that? How do you teach those who say, I'm not a dancer?
Yeah, I love that because it reminds them. It reminds those people remind me of me because I believe when I stepped into dance, I believe I had the gift or the call to dance, but in terms of learning technique and the understanding of placement, and all that, I had to start from the ground floor up, and I think. I believe starting at the age where I started receiving professional training in my mind and in my heart, it was impossible. How could I be, ever get on someone's stage and do something, let's say, quote unquote, technical? But it was through the power of God and the call of God that he began to refine and sharpen my instrument. And when he began to do things in me, I knew from the start, it's beyond me. Any and everything that I'm doing is beyond me. And so that then inspired me to say, as I began to build schools and to teach and train others, I love people who, let's say, who come in with two left feet. My goal and my job is to show them that they have a place, they have a calling, they have a purpose, and to not let two left feet or two right feet hinder you. If you got a heart and your heart can beat, God can give you rhythm. God can show you how to be able to share and love your gift and express your gift with all you have. And I've seen down through the years, you start out with two left feet, and by the time you finish with our experiences, you're front and center, and everyone's watching, everyone's in awe of what has happened in your life because you have a passion and a heart to do what you're doing.
I love it. I love it, man. And what do you think about our youth today? How can, learning dance be beneficial for our youth at this time?
I think the arts in general, we say, dance can be very beneficial, but I think the arts in general, when we say there's a need to be able to reach our youth, there's so much going on. I talk about there being so much darkness going on in the world, and how can we become light to those who really need it? And I always look at our youth and say, this is our generation of tomorrow. How do we step into their lives and be able to make a difference? And I think part of what we have to do is expose them to the right environment, not tease them with something and sort of kind of push it away from them, but give them the opportunity to be exposed to the arts. So we don't want to, for youth, I wouldn't say, oh, just focus all your attention on dance. I say, no, taste dance, taste music, taste the different things and see where you fit in, but let's find a room, let's find space for you and help you to find your voice, as it were, find your place in life and use the arts to do that.
Yeah, I see that, so finding their groove in essence.
Yes.
And exposing them to different opportunities that might introduce them to a groove that they didn't even know they had.
Exactly. Yes. I think it's so needed. And I think, but to me, not saying that, we have less teachers, we have less people who have a desire of, not just trying to make professionals, but trying to just reach people to show them how valuable they are in life. I believe we need more people who are passionate just, to make a difference in their life. And I think that would help to inspire our youth to see more and to know that there's more out there versus, let's say, their current circumstance, whatever they're going through.
Yes, sir. We are talking with Minister Freddie Moore, and we want to watch or see just a little bit of Freddie in action as he's dancing and teaching and choreographing some movement with one of his students. Check it out.
5, 6, 7, 1. Hot, hot. 2. Hot, hot. 3. Down, up, down. Hit, and a 5, hit, down, and a 6, hit, and a 7, hit, bum.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Passing it down.
I see. Wow. So listen, now you mentioned you had an audition for Alvin Ailey. Can you tell us what that felt like? What was that first? What were your feelings? What was happening on the inside?
To me, and this is something I'll never ever forget, and this is why the books are being written now. My blessing when I first went to audition for Alvin Ailey, the very first person that opened the door for me to enter into the building was Alvin Ailey himself. I had no
Whoa.
it was Alvin Ailey. I'm walking down in the Minskoff Theater. I'm walking to the building, and this man is looking me up and down. And when I get closer to him, all I remember in my mind is my mother said, "Don't talk to strangers. Just keep your head down." Just And so I'm hearing that. I'm hearing her voice because I'm by myself. And this man looks at me. He says, "Don't I know you from somewhere?" I looked him up and down a little bit, and I said, "You don't know me." And I ducked my head underneath his arm and walked in the building. And so again, mind you, I'm auditioning for Alvin Ailey. I've never had a professional dance class in my life, but I had a gift. I knew how to call, and those who were following me, I put that into practice when I was at this audition. Halfway through the audition, Alvin Ailey walks in the room. They stop us in the middle of the ballet audition, and Denise Jefferson, the director of the school, said, "I would like to take this opportunity to introduce you to Alvin Ailey." I turned around and looked, and my head just dropped. And I was like,
Whoa.
if I could just get my bag and get out of here, And long story short, I was able to keep up the courage and had the tenacity to get through the audition, and I got selected for it. And so that showed me that even if you're stage fright or you have, questions about auditioning, there's I believe if you're called to do it, it's going to happen. And that was one experience that I'll never, ever forget.
Yeah, man, that's quite an experience, man. And I see that you overcame that stage fright, because so many, dancers, singers, we all go to auditions, and it's the process. But people who might not think they can relate, if you go on a job interview, that's an audition.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we all go on job interviews. We all go on auditions in life, but being able to perform in that moment, even with the stage fright,
yes,
and persevere, dancers and singers, we all have to do it.
Yes. And I think it's important for everyone to understand. I have a theory when I teach students. I said this: every day in life, you should do one or two things. The first thought is you desire to make it happen. So I get to a point where you wake up, your goal in life is to make it happen. That's your goal. That's your groove. Make it happen. But every now and then, whether it's stage fright or whatever, unprepared, I said, if you can't make it happen, make it up. So I get them in that groove. Make it happen or make it up. Do something. Don't stand there. Do something. And I find when you make it up, I teach them how to find practical ways of making it up. But when you make it up, really make it up. So that way people can see your heart. They can see your purpose through it and not say, "Oh, well, they didn't get my steps, so I'm not picking them." If you really make it up and you pour your heart out, I've seen it. I've seen so many people, get jobs because they didn't do the right step, but they had something special about them. And we were drawn to that. So that's what I encourage people to do each and every day.
If you can't make it happen, make it up.
Make it up when you get it. There you go. Do something.
That is going in the books. Yeah, man. I love it, man. So listen, and like I said, dancers and singers, we all go to auditions. And it's a part of this journey. I've been to several auditions. I want to share one of my auditions with you guys, and we're going to talk about it in a sec. This is an audition for The Voice.
Wow.
Here we go.
Oh, my love, oh, darling, I've hungered for your love. Are you
Nice.
still mine? I need your love. Godspeed your love to I'll send it to you.
Amen.
Yeah, bro. I waited 5 hours, I think, and this was audition number 5. So I've auditioned for the Voice 5 times.
Hmm.
But I did everything you said. If you can't make it happen, make it up.
Oh, there you go.
And I cherish that experience. But at the end of the day, I was not selected.
Hmm.
I was not selected. And I wanted to ask you, what do you say to your dancers, or what do you say to people who don't even have to make it up? They make it happen,
Mhm.
but they didn't get selected. How do you deal with rejection?
I think what I try to prep dancers for and artists in general, I always share to them, I believe our steps are ordered by God, and I believe everybody has a purpose in life. And I think as much as we may desire and wanting to be with a big dance company or on Broadway or what, I believe that our gift would make room for us. And I believe that as we go to present our gift, whether it be in auditions or whatever, I would say put your best foot forward, right? What if you don't get it? You have to be okay. You have to do the math and recognize, let's say if there are 1,000 people auditioning and they're only looking for one spot, why would you break, why should you, let's say if you didn't get selected, it tears down your heart, your soul, your spirit, you think I'm not ready. I said, no, 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 no. Just understand that door wasn't meant for you. Keep your eyes going focused forward. We're going to find the right door for you. Never give up. You keep going. And I think when you find rejection, sometimes rejection can make you stronger and it can build you up. It can mature you a lot sooner than always just say getting the gig, because you're that talented and that gifted. You would never know how to understand the power, using the power of rejection to make you grow further and bigger. Yes, I always encourage people to look at it from a positive standpoint and not a negative. And it's all good. That means they're not ready for you, so you go somewhere else. It's all good, and you keep looking, till you reach your goal.
I hope everyone caught a, a few of those nuggets in there. I mean, using the power of rejection basically to propel you forward instead of holding you back. And that door that didn't open wasn't for you.
Hmm.
Um, that there was something better.
Hmm.
I think what I like the most is they're not ready for you. I like that, because it takes it off of you,
Mm-hmm.
and it just says, hey, they weren't ready for me.
That's
And
it.
you're right. You know, we go on these auditions and we really have to get our mindset in the right space and our spirit in the right space, or it can really take you down a dark road.
Yes, yes, it's so true. It's so true, and that's why I say do all you can. Go in and don't lose focus. But same token, just know you put everything that you have out there, and that's all you can do. There's nothing else you can do. That's all you can do.
If you guys just joined in, we are here. This is The Groove. I'm your host, Carl Brister, and our special guest is Mr. Freddie Moore. We got a few more comments out there. I see Parthia Harris. How you doing? She says, pass it my way. 70 and still got rhythm.
Come on. There we go.
Hey. That's right. And I see John Anthony is hanging in there, and he's just saying, great story. And that's exactly what we want to do. And Kyle is shouting out, walk in Jerusalem, walk in
Come on, there you
Jerusalem.
go. Those are the steps from 2000.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
still relevant today.
yes. So Kyle, you're supposed to carry the torch, my brother.
There you
Carry the torch. So, but yeah, Freddie, this is just an honor that you're here, man. I'm just so happy to have you here on The Groove. And dancers in general and singers, artists, we have a tough road often, especially with this pandemic. The lights of Broadway sometimes, have been dim, and then they're up, and then, there's been a tough road. Have you ever had to choose between your passion, following your passion, and providing for your basic needs?
And it's not a tough question, tough answer for me, but as I share the truth, I don't want it to come off as me boasting one bit. But I believe when I say I know God has called me to do what I'm doing, because when I chose to walk out and do this thing called dance, I gave it all to him from the very start of me recognizing, oh, this is a God thing. This is not me. This is bigger than me. I made a decision in life to let God have first place. Whatever he desires me to do, that I will do. Wherever he wants me to go, I'll go there. So in all of my career and all of my life in dance, I've always put everything in his hands. And I said, okay, what's meant for me, he'll open the door, he'll make happen. And so to me, when I say, I don't know if it's not dealing with rejection or making a choice, I just know whatever God allowed me to do, it was his working. So I took everything to say it's all connecting. Whether I'm dancing, whether I'm teaching, if I'm traveling around the world, whatever I'm doing, it's all connecting to the greater picture. And so having to make a decision of, do I do this dance concert or do I feed, can I feed myself? I just praise God that he has always provided my needs. And so for me personally, and that's why I said I don't want to make it sound like I'm boasting. I just said what's meant for me is going to be meant for me. And even when, let's say, if I had a desire of doing something great and God said, no, not now, I looked at it from a different perspective. So, okay, so he's supplying, so he's always provided and made a way, has always opened the door for the past 37 years in ministry and dance. I've never had to look back. I never had to say, and I thank God. I know it's all God. It's not me to see that he's still saying, I'm just beginning with you. I can't thank him enough. But yeah.
Wow, what a testimony. What a testimony. We are here with Freddie Moore, and he is sharing some nuggets with us. This is the groove. And listen, this is Black History Month, and we want to shine a light on on many of our heroes. But today, none other than, of course, the great Alvin Ailey. So we want to get Freddie's thoughts on his journey with Alvin Ailey, and just share a little bit more about his story, Freddie's story, how he's touched lives all around the world. And before we do that, just want to just highlight Mr. Ailey by sharing one of his, just some clips from one of his signature pieces, Revelations.
Talked about
you hide me? Run to the sea. Sea, won't you hide me all of that day? Lord, won't you hide me? Lord, won't you hide me? Lord, won't you hide me all of that day? So
So did that what do you feel when you see that?
Wow. Just again, just so honored because again, I had the privilege, as I shared with you, in terms of working with Alvin Ailey I met him in 1985 and had the opportunity of working with him up until his untimely death in 1989. And so for 4 years, I was a student at the school at the time when I worked with him as a student. And then I got into Ailey too, the junior company. And to have Mr. Ailey in the room rehearsing, calling out your name, teaching you, giving you, it was just, I mean, divine. It was divine appointments from God. And to see the work now, like Revelations, again, when you're talking about God ordering the steps, it's a privilege for me now to be the one teaching that dance to all of our young dancers in the school. We have a student performance group. I'm the one passing these works down to them. And I'm speaking to them, sharing them with them thoughts that Mr. Ailey spoke about and that others who taught us. So I counted a privilege. And every time I see the work again, it takes me back, but it also shows me how much more we have to do and how much Alvin Ailey left for us to do. And so we're so grateful for the opportunity to continue his legacy.
Absolutely. Shout out to the legendary Mr. Alvin Ailey. Much respect and thanks for the art and the gift. And thank you, Freddie. I mean, I'm wondering if after watching Revelations, did your training at Alvin Ailey pretty much open your eyes to using your gift as a ministry?
Yes, when I first started training at Ailey, September 9th, 1985. Please do not do the math. I'm only 18. And I came to know Jesus Christ February 3rd, 1986. So from that September to February, that was my first introduction in dance. And I knew, I got to train. I need so much technique. And I was discouraged because it seemed like everybody in the building has been training since they were 3 years old. And meanwhile, I'm 17 starting my training. But it wasn't, I think, after I came to know the Lord, the door opened and I realized I could do this for ministry. I could do this to honor God. The doors just got wider and wider and wider. And I began to say, okay, Lord, show me. He began to send me into places where people said, no, you can honor God with this. And so that's what I dedicated my life to doing, making sure that I put him first place in any and everything I do. It honors him.
Wow. Powerful, man. Just powerful. And I often was wondering, let's just be real. This is The Groove. If you're just joining us, Minister Freddie Moore is here with us on The Groove. I hope you guys are subscribing and following on Facebook. I see you. I see Parthia. She has so much to share with you, Freddie. You're going to have to chat her back in a little bit. And but listen, let's keep it real, as we used to say. In some churches, dancing is still controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Still controversial. We can point to so many scriptures that speak of dancing. Today's show is entitled "A Time to Dance," which comes from Ecclesiastes, where the Lord Himself says there's a time. A season for everything, and includes dance and a long list of things that there's an appointed time for. But many churches are still somewhat hesitant. What do you say to aspiring young ministries, dance ministries, who wish to form dance or praise dance, liturgical dance ministries, but they're facing conservative leadership.
Yeah, I've encountered so many. I mean, so many ministries. I helped to birth many ministries in this particular place. Let's say they're in the church, and the church, they don't want to outright say no, but same token, they're very skeptical, and so they'll allow you to, do an event here or there. You got 2 minutes, make it quick. They want, and what I try to do to encourage ministries, I say, if God has called us to do these things, we have to look to God to open doors, to give us room and create an atmosphere or a place to be able to allow our gifts to be used for Him. And I think part of what we have to do and need, let's say, in some of the churches where they're still skeptical, in my ministry, I have workshops for pastors and for leaders, so they can come and they can ask the hard questions, and they can inquire why we do this and how we do this and how does this connect with worship, and is it real, and then and we break out those things, but we go according to the Word of God. And then I also go to the ministers, because we've had people get up and leave churches because that church didn't want me to dance, so I'm leaving, I gotta go. And I always tell people, wait, let God do something. Don't be quick to jump out. God may have a plan, and God may want to use you to help open the door and help. So we have to learn how to encourage. And I say, in the midst, while you're waiting, I've learned this from my ministries, my friends in Connecticut. While you're waiting, worship Him. Worship Him while you're waiting, and watch what happens. And things begin to shift. Things begin to happen, because you're not just standing there waiting for a pastor to give you the nod of the head. God can still operate and work in you. So I think we want to encourage them to keep, looking forward and trusting, but we have to just be praying for our leaders, that they begin to understand the relevance of how and why God has called us to dance and to worship Him through the dance. And I think it's important. So we don't want to give up on individuals and on ministries. We just got to, trust them and to have them to find trust in God, and knowing that God will order the steps in due time.
I hear you. I know there's a lot of anxiousness, if you want to call it. And we know the word says, be anxious for nothing.
Yes.
And it's sometimes it's hard when that gift or that talent is within you, that vision of how you see ministry is not the way it's being carried out in your church, and you have what you believe is all the biblical foundation to stand on to advocate for it, and you try. We do understand the frustration that comes with it, because for you it's a time to dance. Maybe not for that church, but or maybe it is, and you just need to pray. So I guess what I get from what you're saying is we have to wait.
And that also too, because while you're waiting, worship, I firmly believe this in my heart, that God has, because even like, let's say in some of the local churches here, not the doors were closing, but people didn't understand the whole connection with dance and ministry. I thank God that God said He had a call on my life. God began to open doors and send me places. He sent me all the way around the world. This little kid from Marion Gardens, from the projects, been all around the world and back again. And every time I get on the plane, I never forget, this is God's doing. This is God, and God would take me places like South Africa. I mean, where you see multitude, where it's just freely, and He began to show you your gift. So He took you far away from your town just to understand your purpose and your call. And I say, you got to have the strength to come back, and I got to still get while you just wait. But I've shown you what I'm going to do in and through you. So I encourage people to say, don't rebel against the church and leave the church. Try and get the blessing of the church. If they don't want you to do that, if the pastors and leaders can allow you to go to conferences and do other things where you can expose your gift and share your gift, who knows what God will do and how God can open up the door out there only to bring you back here. And when it's time, you'll be more than polished and ready, because you've been walking in your calling all the time, all along.
Everybody, this is Minister Freddie Moore. This is The Groove. I am Carl Brister. And after we just experienced Freddie doing exactly what he does, we're going to come back with our final question of the night. We want to get some of your questions in as well. So if you want to chat and leave a question, or let your voice be heard, let's try to get those in. But we really, really, really are having a good time. We're gonna have to have Freddie back. But here we go. This is Mr. Freddie Moore. Hey, man, right in the heart of the city. Right. I will bless the Lord at all times, right?
That's it. That's
Even
it.
at rush hour.
That's it. And that's during the pandemic, and it was freezing outside, but had to prepare and had to find ways of getting the word out.
Man, and during the pandemic, that was so needed, man. So needed.
Yes.
So listen, we are blessed to have you. I see Sandra Phillip Rousseau. She wanted to send her encouragement, said you're a gifted dancer, thankful for all that you do. And I've seen you touch so many lives. I mean, with no exaggeration, man. I really, really have been blessed, as a friend and as your brother, but also inspired. Just, watching you minister and touch lives. And I wanted to know, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, how does it feel? How does it feel when you know that you're operating in your groove, in essence, and you've had this wonderful journey to share all around the world?
I think for me, when we speak about legacy and we speak about passing down, my ultimate desire is making for certain that I fulfill God's desire. And I remember, you want to hear something, you've never heard this testimony before, but people around the world have heard it. It was at your concert. I was in some city somewhere traveling, and you called me to minister with you at a church. You were releasing one of your latest CDs, and I never heard the song. And you were trying to send me a copy of the song, but long story short, I never got a chance to hear it. I'm walking up the left side of the church, and the band, everyone's ready to minister. And I'm saying to myself, this is the first, because up until that point, I was used to getting the song. I got to choreograph it, got to get it ready. I had no clue, but I had to be there for my brother. And I remember I'm walking up the left side of the aisle, and I'm saying, Lord, what am I going to do? And literally, I walked to the front, I closed my eyes, and literally said, okay, Holy Spirit. And literally, I just cried. I said, Holy Spirit. And when you begin singing, everything you sung about, my body began to move. And that whole purpose and calling, it was at that concert with you that the Lord, Holy God, began to show me, I'm going to refine your dance. Give it to me. You don't need to always go. You just show up. I got this. And it was from that point I began to seek. It was like a whole new language in dance came through my member from that experience. I'll never, ever, and I speak about it all the time, but I've never shared this with you personally. But again, when we think about what you want to pass down and what you want to leave, to me, I was reminded of that. And I think for me, that's my goal as I work with ministries and work with dancers, whether it be Ailey. I want to make sure that they understand the purpose, their calling, their gift, and we want to see that grow. And we want, I believe everything should be given back to God. And so we want to get to a place where we understand our purpose and know that, if God has called you to do it, honor him in your doing. So again, to me, I think my ultimate desire is to make for certain that people see the Christ in me, see the God in me, and all that I say and do, and know that that's the ultimate purpose. It's not about money. It's not about fame. It's about him. And we want to make sure we honor him as he honors us and bless us.
Whoa.
Sorry, I'm throwing that on you at this time, but it really was, I shared it. I don't know why I never told you this, but it started right with that concert where I understood moving in the spirit, flowing in the spirit.
I am speechless, man. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. My gosh. I'm watching these comments. I see Freddie believed in a little kid like me in the hood at Extreme Impact 2000. And I've been ministering in dance ever since. Love you, man.
That's my son. Come on.
Wow.
Wow.
We definitely have to have you back, Freddie. This has been a wonderful, awesome experience, as I knew it would be. And, I've had such an opportunity to not only witness you in motion, but to minister with you through song. And I mean, that time, I didn't even know what was going on, but amen to that. I thank God for you, and I pray for your continued that he will use you continually, and your continued clarity on what he'd have for you to do. And you've blessed me twice here, because you shared with me this video of you ministering to a song that I wrote, and I didn't even know. And I want to leave this with everyone. This is a song called "I Yield to Thee" that Freddie ministered to. So I'm going to ask you to have the last word as you share this video and any final words you would like to say.
Yeah, again, I want to thank you for having me and having this time. I just thank God that as we are in this season, and this time is so important to understand how to find, as you said, how do you find your groove and your place in life? And again, this is a great opportunity for us all to come together and be able to encourage one another, of saying, it's not about placing someone else on a pedestal, but understanding your purpose in life and your groove in life. And so I want to just encourage anyone at the sound of my voice, take time to understand and recognize God created you for a purpose, and God has a groove for you. And as we even watch this video speaks about yielding everything, giving everything over to God, and laying it all at his feet. And that's our desire. Our desire is to be able to return praise and honor and glory back unto him. But again, I just thank him each and every day. And I thank you, my brother, for just, again, this opportunity to be able to spread the good news and spread the groove to others and let others know what God is doing and how awesome and how wonderful he is, for even allowing this platform to be able to continue to preach his good news. So thank you.
Thank you, my brother. And for everyone, this again is Freddie Moore dancing to "I Yield to Thee," written by yours truly, along with Don Corey Washington, my co-writer on this song, from the album Focus. From the album Focus. Everybody, Freddie Moore.
Jesus, who everything, you're that I need. Holding out of my life, you're perfect will. You are the potter, I am the clay. Do whatever you will, I yield to thee. Master and Savior,
Thank you guys for watching. This is The Groove. That was Minister Freddie Moore. And what a blessing this was. I hope you guys really received all that he shared. That was I Yield to Thee, the song from my second album, Focus, that he surprised me with, that he had dances to as he travels around the world. Next week, my special guest will be Broadway's own Robert Taylor Jr., dancer himself, and dancer, choreographer, teacher himself, actor, and singer. This guy is a triple threat. Again, I always say, if you think of Sammy Davis Jr. today, and that's this dynamic entertainer, Mr. Robert Taylor Jr., that's coming up next week. I see you guys out there. I see you, Sandra. I see you, Irene Fryer. I see you guys. If you're following me on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell somebody about The Groove. We will be here next week at 7 p.m. live. So you guys enjoy this great 3-day weekend that many of you guys have. I hope you guys continue to follow your groove in life and remember to love one another. I'll see you next week. Love came to teach us how to love, to truly love, to love unconditionally. Love chose us to bring forth love.
I've got a question, but I ain't got the answer. So maybe you can help a brother out if you like. Why can't we just love each other? You're my sister, you're my brother. Can we find a way to figure this love thing out? What the world needs is L-O-V-E, love. What the world needs is L-O-V-E, love. Oh, lately the world's been going crazy, but hate divine. Love's the one thing that unifies. Oh, brother, what's going on? So we've got to come together in love. What the world needs is L-O-V-E, love. What the world needs is L-O-V-E, love. We need elevation, no discrimination, women's segregation all across the nation. Politicians making money off the poor. We ain't got no voice if they know we won't fall. I can't breathe, never see no more. What the world needs more of this. Cause the world what the world needs more of is love, sweet love. We need immigration, compliance legislation, with the reputation. Let's love as a nation, no matter who's in love. If you agree and if you don't, we've got to love one another. What the world needs, one another. One another. What the world needs, one another.